This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are delighted to be joined on Zoom once again with Caoimhin Agyarko. It's been a while, Caoimhin. I think you were one of the very first ones I ever done a Zoom interview with. I think during COVID. I think obviously you were in Belfast at the time, but I was sort of thinking last night we'd set this up, and I was sort of going. I remember I think the very first interview me and you ever done was on Zoom. Zoom's come a long way since then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's very handy. Obviously, it's a lot easier for you to do a lot of interviews. Especially like you say, I'm obviously in Liverpool. So yeah, it's come a long way.
Obviously, fight week once again. I guess sort of you've been probably counting down the weeks. I know I've been sort of sharing it, but the weeks are sort of coming down. But you're probably more relieved than probably anybody. They say that you're on a fight week once again.
Yeah, it's great to be in a fight week again. It's been a very long camp. I came back to camp the first week of January, so by the time the fight comes around, it'll be a 12-week camp, which is obviously very long for an 8 rounder. But I think that's what I needed. Obviously, I have a new coach, and I needed a bit more time to gel with him, a bit more time to get certain ring rust off, through sparring and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm buzzing that it's another fight week because, like I said, it's been a very long camp and it's been a very long time out of the ring, and I'm looking forward to fighting on Sunday.
Stephen Smith, obviously your new coach. Obviously, I think you've been with him since I think maybe around about October sort of time. Would that be correct? That was when sort of first linked up,
Yeah.
but your sort of first camp together. Obviously, he's been raving about you. Obviously, and things I've been seeing on social media. I guess obviously sometimes a different set of eyes, a different sort of opinion, and obviously the style and everything else. But as a partnership, you're sort of looking forward to it progressing. Obviously, as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I've known Swifty for a while. Obviously, I've trained in Liverpool for the last three and a half years. So, Swifty was in and around the Rotunda gym. I trained with his brother, and I've just known him through boxing. So I know that he was a great lad, great coach. His boxing brain is second to none. So when I made the change over, it was easy for me because I knew that I wanted to stay in Liverpool, and he was the only coach that I was thinking of. And yeah, we've styled gel we've gelled stylistically. I think it's a perfect fit. Swifty's all about hitting, not being hitting. He's all about using your boxing ability. Like I said, he's got an unbelievable boxing brain, and I feel like he's really bringing out the best in me. I feel like he's bringing out the old Caoimhin Agyarko. Um, I think he's letting me be me, but just tweaking small things and sharpening small things, and that's what I think I needed. And yeah, I'm buzzing. He probably doesn't realize it, but he's he's made me fall in love with boxing again. Obviously, after my last fight, I was going through a few issues, and um, didn't know where my career was going. I didn't know what I was doing coaching wise. Going into that fight, I knew that I was going to be changing coaches, and joining Swifty and just the relationship and the chemistry we have, he's made me fall back in love with boxing.
You sort of I'm seeing something recently there. Obviously, a former double Olympian gold medalist. Is it Jade Jones? And I'm trying to think of the sport it is again. Was it um,
Taekwondo.
taekwondo? She's obviously switched across. I was in the pro rank. I think I seen something that was on the news about it. You obviously been playing an important part for her. Obviously, I know she's been involved in the martial arts sort of scene throughout the years. So obviously involved in combat sport, but you'd be someone that she'd look up to in a strange way, having a double Olympic gold medalist looking up to you. Sort of like, do you sort of feel that sort of pressure? Do you feel that sort of pride that someone that's coming into the pro boxing side of things is looking up to you for help and advice?
Yeah, obviously, listen, if I can, she was out in Portugal with us for a training camp before it came out that she was going to be training and turning pro, and um, she was asking me just on a few pointers and tips, and she was watching the spars with me and Steve Clark, and she was asking me how do I move like that and how do I do this and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good to obviously she's been at the top of her sport, being a double Olympic champion. It's an unbelievable achievement, and she's coming into new sport trying to achieve something, and she's open-minded about it. She doesn't care that she's been a double Olympic champion in another sport. There's no ego. There's no stubbornness. She wants to learn. She asks questions. She trains very hard, and yeah, it's good to be able to pass some sort of knowledge on to her and watch her progress.
It's something you've always been, you've always looked back to, when you've come along in your career and obviously getting sparring on the way up and sort of developing yourself, you've always been very quick to obviously help others. Obviously, I know Byrne, obviously, he's fighting for his first title fight in a couple of weeks' time. He's been over sparring with you and was passing on a lot of compliments, obviously, the fact that after the spar, you were saying, or stopping during the sparring, going, here, do this, they help and develop people. Like, I guess sometimes that's the nature of this sport. It's the most brutalist sport in the world, but everybody wants to help each other.
Yeah, I think there's two sides of it. There's a lot of times some fighters let their ego get in the way, and they they take spawn as if it's a fight, as if you're getting paid for it, as if you're getting a world title for it, and that's not the case for me. 90% of the sports like I go in to learn and try something new, and um, obviously if someone's trying to take the mic, then I'll show them levels, but I go into them spars to learn because you're not getting paid for it and you're not winning a world title, and that's the best place that you can try something new without there being any real consequences. And yeah, like, I like to give back to the sport. I like to help out in any way that I can, and I expect anyone else to help me out. Do you know what I mean? Even if Glen had a couple pointers for me to say, do you know what I mean? For me, there is no ego for me in boxing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you can always improve, and then 1%'s all that up. So yeah, just listen. I know obviously Jay Byrne very well, and Glen's a great lad, and any sort of knowledge that I could have passed on, I tried to, and I had a good 5, 6 round spawn with him, and it was good to help each other out.
Does it sort of feel weird that you're sort of like a veteran, obviously, the pro game sort of now, not obviously you're only 28 years of age, so I'm not saying you're over the hill or anything, but you're into your seventh year as a pro now. Do you sort of feel that at times, I guess, with COVID, sometimes you can forget maybe some of it, do you feel like a sort of veteran in the fight game yet?
Yeah, I think I'm just an yeah, I'm very experienced pro. Do you know what I mean? Even though I've only had 15 fights, do you know what I mean? I've had 15 fights, but I feel like I've been around for a very long time. When I started my professional career, I was sparring the likes of Bradley Skeet, who's unbelievable was an unbelievable fighter. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the names that I've sparred over the years and the knowledge that I've picked up, like Billy Joe Saunders, stuff like that, and the fights that I've been in, I feel like I've been around for a long time. And like you mentioned, I'm 28 now, so I'm not getting any younger. So I'm somewhat of a veteran.
Where you're sort of saying, like, the last, 18 months, 24 months sort of has been tough for you. Obviously, you had the Troy Williamson fight, which was probably, and I know that obviously I'm going to, I'll take some flack for that because obviously I posted a few things obviously about the fight happening the first time around, but like, it was a sort of fallout where you sort of didn't feel in love with the sport. Obviously, afterwards, it sort of the bigger fights didn't come. Obviously, the matchroom deal ended. Like, was that sort of why he sort of fell in love with the sport? Because I guess I think a lot of people say boxing's a sport that'll never love you back. It's you're so passionate about the sport, you just want to progress to that next level, and sometimes it's tougher when you, particularly when you've had fights since where Stevie McKenna, the arm McKenna, the Callum Walsh. There's probably other fights there as well where they haven't happened. Is that where you sort of fall in love with it? What's sort of rekindled you back as well into that?
Yeah, I feel like I fell out of love because it wasn't my hard work wasn't being rewarded when I hadn't did any. I didn't deserve that. I've anyone that's been put in front of me, I've gone and beat them, and I've beat them convincingly. I'm number 6 in the world with the WBA. I'm unbeaten. I've got a fan friendly style. I train extremely hard. I don't disrespect people, and I just felt like the hard work that I put in was unrewarding, and I, I've been around the sport a very long time. Do you know what I mean? And I've had a similar situation like this as an amateur, where I was close to falling out of love with the sport and kind of got reeled back in. And um, for me, after the Troy fight, I was coming off the biggest win of my career. Nobody wanted to fight Troy. I went and beat Troy convincingly. even though the scorecards, I mean, take that Polish judges score out of it because it was a joke, but the other two had it very wide. And I was, after that fight, I was like, right, I've proved everybody wrong. Everybody was calling me a shitbag. Everybody was saying I turned the fight down. Everybody saying I don't want to be tested. Everybody was saying this, that, and the other about me. And I went and proved everybody wrong. And when I proved everybody wrong, nothing came after it. No opportunities came. So yeah, it was very frustrating, but I think I fell out of love because my hard work wasn't rewarded. Even after the Troy fight, I went back to camp late February and I was in camp until obviously August, and I only fought once. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of money, a lot of sacrifice, being away from my friends and family for what, 6 months. Do you know what I mean? 6 7 months. I then fought, went on holiday, come back, and I was back in camp from uh September till October, or September till November, where I was meant to fight again on a common boxing card, and that fell through. It was, I think it was Waterford, was it? So do you know what I mean? So like, I think 8 9 months of the year I was in camp after the Troy fight, and I had no opportunities. So that's when I had to kind of sit back and say, is this worth it for me? And kind of assess my options. But listen, I've been boxing since I was 7 years old. It's all I know. It's who I am. It's Caoimhin Agyarko is boxing. Boxing is Caoimhin Agyarko, and I know that if I stopped today, I'd be happy with my achievements, but I'd know I could have achieved more. So that's what gets me out of bed in the morning is the dreams and goals that I've set myself out to become the first Black Irish world champion. And that's the only, I don't do it for the money. Obviously the money comes with it and you want to make a living off it and you want to make a few quid and whatever else. But that's the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, is the goals that I want to achieve, and knowing that I didn't quit. I know in the future that I can look back and say I didn't quit. So yeah, it was obviously a tough couple of months for me. And like I said, Swifty doesn't probably realise it, but his boxing brain, his way of seeing boxing and training and stuff like that kind of helped me fall back in love with boxing, fall back in love with the sweet science, because I have a lot of respect and a lot of time for my old coaches, and I think they're great coaches. But stylistically, I just don't think it suited me. And I think being with Swifty now, that's helped me a lot.
Do you think that obviously what you've been through over the last couple of years, like obviously someone that you've been part of a stable with previously before in Holy Trinity, obviously, and Anto Dukachi, we all know obviously what Anto went through for a few years where he was avoided, and sort of similar to the same way you are, even obviously you, you, that bracket they sort of put the high risk, low reward, that sort of thing, where people will look at you now and they'll go to the name and they'll go, what's the pay? They'll not think of the fight, they'll think of what's the pay, because they see obviously the risk it's there. Like, through this adversity you've been through the last couple of years, has it made you, probably it's made you more hungrier, than everything else? Like, how has it changed for you this last say particular year? Made you more hungrier to achieve what you want to achieve?
I think the hunger's always been there. I don't think I'm hungry because I set the goal to become a first Black Irish world champion when I was 14 years old, and since then do you know what I mean, that was 14 years old. Since then, I've strived to try and achieve that goal of mine, and um, I think I just believe in myself, and I know how good I am, and I just need somebody to believe in me. Do you know what I mean? I feel like with Eddie Hearn, he talked the talk. He brought me to the press conferences in Belfast, and this is going to be the next big Irish star, and we got the Irish canelo, and we got this, that, and the other. But I kind of feel like it was a front, because I don't think he really believed in me. He get every opportunity he gave me, I'm grateful for, but I didn't really do anything wrong, did I? I didn't really put a foot wrong. So for us not to renegotiate a contract shows that he didn't believe in me, didn't believe what he was saying. Do you know what I mean? I didn't put the words in his mouth. So, yeah, I just need someone to believe in me, because I believe in myself. My team believe in me. And listen, anybody who watches me knows how good I am. Do you know what I mean? And anybody who sees me day in, day out in the gym knows how good I am. And I just want the opportunity to prove that. I feel like I've had the opportunities to prove that to beat Troy Williamson convincingly. I've beat all these other fighters convincingly. Even fighters that I've beat, these Mexicans that I've beat, have gone on to fight other fighters from matchroom and give them real tough fights where I've beat them convincingly and beat them easily. And yeah, but listen. I understand boxing. I understand the politics. I understand favoritism. I understand it all, and I don't lick any horses. I don't disrespect people and call people. And maybe that's what people want. People want that kind of entertainment, and everyone always, my friends and some of my team always tell me, you need to start calling people. You need to be a bit more disrespectful. But boxing's a very tough sport, and I don't like that. I don't think someone disrespects me. I'll show you how disrespectful I can get. But until then, I just feel like there's no need for that in boxing. Two men get in a ring to fight and put their life on the line. And I know that's a cringy saying that they're putting their life on the line, but we do. We get in the ring and we risk it all, obviously, to achieve our dreams and achieve what we want to achieve, but also for the entertainment of the fans. And I just don't like that side of boxing, that it's becoming an entertainment and not a sport.
Riyadh season, obviously, the last year, sort of, it's changed a lot of people's lives. Does it give you that sort of, are you sort of waiting for that phone call from Paul to go, we've got you a big fight in Riyadh, you're getting big money? That's the opportunity you're looking for now, Keith, doesn't it? Obviously, it's to get a big opportunity like that. Probably not so much the money, but obviously that to get you closer towards a world title. Like, does that fill you with excitement at the fact that one of these Riyadh cards, somebody's going to mention your name and you're going to get this big fight that you want?
Yeah, it'd be great to be on a Riyadh card. They're changing lives, they're giving opportunities to fighters, and it's great to see. I got a phone call to fight on one against Josh Kelly, and unfortunately, I was literally just back from Greece, and I had no coach. I wasn't even with Swifty yet, so I just I could have got in there on 6 days' notice, um, and I could have given it my best shot, but I would have beat myself up after if things didn't go well. And I always said that if I lose in boxing, I want it to be because the other fighter was a better fighter than me on the night, not because I didn't prepare properly or I took it on 6 days' notice. And I obviously had to turn it down just because I didn't have a coach and I was in no shape to fight. I was just back from holiday. But yeah, I hope an opportunity like that comes again, because I'll be ready. I'll be staying in shape. Hopefully, I get a bit of notice. But yeah, the Riyadh and Turkey Al Sheikh is doing great things for boxing. I think there's a bit of a downside to it with there not being as many shows in the UK, so the grassroots boxing is fallen away slightly. But there's always going to be pros and cons.
Obviously the Callum Walsh, obviously one that was sort of out there. I sort of got it sort of from a back door sort of way, as there was negotiations and sort of you'd accept it sort of your side. It's something that got a lot of people's attention online. I know they obviously went a different route. Do you sort of take that as a compliment to the fact that they go that they might not feel that they're ready for a fight with you yet? Like, obviously he ended up fighting Dean Sutherland and destroyed him in a round. Like, where you've been on the opposite side of the fence, where people said you've turned fights down in the past, and now people turning you down. Do you sort of look at it as a compliment in the way where they go, we're looking to see if you're ready? They maybe want you to say, I don't want the fight, so they can go online and go, Caoimhin Agyarko turned down the fight. Like, what way do you sort of look at it the opposite way now, where you're accepting fights and people aren't taking you?
Well, they don't want the fight. Colin was, listen, great win from against Dean Sutherland. And fair play to me, he's doing very well, and a lot of respect to him. But they don't want the fight. We've asked for the fight twice. One for that card on the 16th, 17th, whenever it was, and my manager messaged his manager the day or two after the fight, and they turned it down again, saying that Callum's fights are going to be in the USA, and his next 3, 4 fights going to be in the USA. That fight only makes sense to happen in Belfast. Well, then why not put it in Belfast, or happen in Ireland? Sorry, why not put it in Ireland? Do you know what I mean? That's just an excuse. But when the shoe was on the other foot, when I actually didn't turn down Troy Williamson, when lies were actually being told about me, when I didn't turn down Troy Williamson, I just asked for a fight in between. I got slated from the hills. Every media outlet, every fan was on slating me, calling me a shitbag, calling me this, that, and the other. But I see other fighters that turn the fight down with me, or McKenna turned the fight down against me. Um, Callum Walsh. Now, I'm not saying Callum Walsh personally himself turned the fight down, but his manager has turned the fight down. Um, Nobody's out slating these fighters. Nobody's out calling these fighters shitbags. But I was seen to be the shitbag and the fighter that didn't want to step up and whatever else. I don't know if there's agenda against me. I don't think so. But listen, I don't focus on that all that stuff too much. I don't really care. And fighters turn me down. You can look at it as a compliment, but I don't really care. Like I just want to fight, Stephen. I don't like. I've never turned a fight down in my life. I, I've had to say no to a fight because I wasn't ready. Like I had 6 days notice. Like that's not really turning a fight down. I just there's nothing I could have did about it. And, so I mean, not going to put my health and at risk. But um, I just want to fight. I don't care who it is. I just want to fight and show how good I am, because I know how good I am. All these fights is, do you know what I mean? The Callum Walsh, Josh Kelly fight fell through a couple times last year. A Basperu we asked the fight that fell through. Um, and then obviously all McKenna and stuff. So yeah, it's a very frustrating time for me. But listen, my time's going to come. I just got to stay active, stay ready. I'm looking forward to going out on Sunday, and listen, people can slate me about the opponent, but if anyone watches his style, he comes with a fight. So I expect to be in a tough fight on Sunday. And I can't afford to slip up. I've got to go out there and put on a good performance, and I treat every fight the same, whether it's Troy Williamson, whether it's this guy, whether it's a journeyman. I treat every fighter the same. The next fighter that's put in front of me is trying to stop me from achieving my dream. So I can't afford to slip up. I can't afford to get complacent and overlook anybody. So the best Caoimhin Agyarko was prepared, and hopefully I can go out on Sunday night and put on a great performance.
Does it feel weird to be fighting on a Sunday? Obviously, we've obviously had our Friday nights and our Saturday night shows, and it seems to be now that boxing's going more into Sundays. Obviously, that Callum Walsh card and MSG was on a Sunday. Does it feel weird to be fighting on a Sunday for you? Like, obviously, you're going to be weighing in on Saturday, fighting on Sunday. Does it feel weird, or I guess this boxing game, you just have to be prepared for all angles?
Yeah, I think you have to be prepared for all angles, but yeah, it's obviously something different in the pro game. I think top tier doing a great job. I think Johnny Clark, he's a great man, and I want to thank him for the opportunity to fight on this show. Um, but I think he's doing a great thing for boxing. He's putting on exciting fights, and he's doing them on Sundays. He's trying to be a bit different. I think maybe one or two of his cards have been on Sunday, and we're played him because he's giving people opportunity. And realistically, nobody really has anything to do on a Sunday. It's always a lazy day. Do you know what I mean? So why not go out and watch the boxing? And um, like I think this show's going to be a bit earlier than regular shows. You know what I mean? So it's not like you'll be out late and you can't. If people's got work the next day, I think the show will probably be over for 7, 8 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? Which is a perfect time. You'd be watching football to that time on a Sunday anyway. So yeah, big shout out to Johnny Clark because he's doing great things.
Back to York Hall, obviously, I'm just looking there. The last time you fought in York Hall, December 2019. Do you still remember how much of a sweat box it is? Obviously, how warm it can get the more people it's in. Like, what a venue. Obviously, you fought in York Hall, you fought in the Ulster Hall, you fought in probably two of the most iconic venues in the UK, sort of in Ireland. Like, looking forward to getting back in the York Hall and sort of having a sweat on from the first 30 seconds of a fight.
Yeah, it's a York Hall's a great venue. It's a very iconic boxing venue, and it's just obviously like you said, I've fought there twice before, so I'm familiar with the territory. But yeah, it's a very warm venue. The change rooms are very small, and it's just like an old school boxing venue. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in there, and like it's the crowd and stuff when you're fighting, like because of the tiers above it, it feels like the crowd's with you, and yeah, it's a great boxing venue. So I'm looking forward to getting back there on Sunday.
What can we expect, obviously, of Caoimhin Agyarko on Sunday night? Obviously, your first fight under Stephen Smith. We were saying he's made you fall in love with the sport again. So we're expecting, obviously, probably you're always going to expect a dominant performance now. But what can we expect, obviously, out of you on Sunday on the zone?
Caoimhin Agyarko that will have no pressure on his shoulders. Caoimhin Agyarko that will go out there and just enjoy every minute. If it takes 8 rounds, if it takes 4 rounds, if it takes 5 rounds, I'm going to go out and enjoy Sunday night and and be the best Caoimhin Agyarko that I can be, because I I love the sport, and yeah, it has its ups and downs. But I put in a great camp. I've enjoyed this camp. I've enjoyed sparring. I've enjoyed learning of Swifty, and I just want to go out there and whether I get the knockout, whether I make it look pretty, ugly, I'm just going to go out and enjoy every minute of it.
And I know you're not going to look too far ahead, but obviously it looks like Pierce O'Leary's obviously going to be fighting in Dublin, obviously in June. Obviously, I know that you used to work with Frank Warren, but obviously if Frank Warren needs an Irish fighter that obviously they appear and obviously his card, maybe even an opponent. Obviously, I know you're not one for calling people out, but I can think of the likes of Sam Gilly. It's with Queensbury. If they're looking for an opponent for Sam Gilly, say for instance for that Dublin card, your name's up, you're ready to go. You've fought there previously.
Yep, just they've got my number. Just give it a call. I'll fight anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. As long as it makes sense, money wise, career wise, no problem at all. I sell a lot of tickets in Dublin. I sell a lot of tickets in Belfast and Ireland in general. So if they want a big ticket seller on the card and an exciting, fan friendly fighter, just give me a call.
Okay, even look, obviously it's great to get a catch up. Obviously, I appreciate you giving me so much of your time in fight week. Obviously, enjoy the last couple of days of making weight. And we can't wait to see you back in action Sunday evening.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve.
Cheers, Steve. Kevin, take care. Chat to you soon.
Chat to you soon, mate. Bye bye.
Cheers, thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.